Good evening, everybody. That's incredibly low. How are we all? Hope you're well. I hope you're good. It is, of course, Monday, which means it's time for Monday Night Raw. A big week of professional wrestling ahead of us. I don't know why that thing's broken. We'll figure that out as we go. Big week of professional wrestling ahead. We have, of course, Monday Night Raw tonight, followed by Wednesday Dynamite, Friday SmackDown and Rampage, Saturday Collision alongside, of course, Money in the Bank. That's going to be happening later on Saturday, which is very exciting. But before that, we have two more WWE shows to go. Raw tonight and SmackDown on Friday to build up towards it. Here's Danny. That's something I didn't do. Act like you're not seeing his back. There we go. There he is. Who says I'm ready? Who says I'm not ready? Not me. But big soon. Josh, good to see you. Hope you're well. Happy as well if you somehow see this. Hope you're well. Good to see you, by the way. But yeah, a big week. A big week. And I'm kind of excited for it. It's interesting. Whenever I look up, whenever I sort of get ready for these shows, I turn on in the background. I sort of have a look at what they've announced for the show and see what's coming up and all these sort of things. And it always surprises me how little, in a sense, WWE announce their stuff beforehand. Given the fact that, you know, you compare it to any other company in the world who sort of put out a lot of different things. They say this is coming up and this is coming up. AEW, for example, will be like, these are all the different matches you can expect on a card. These are all the different things you can expect. And WWE just don't really do that. So I don't really know what to expect from Raw tonight. We've got Dominik, Mysterio and Cody having a conversation ahead of their stuff at Money in the Bank. There we go, that's all fixed. Ahead of their stuff at Money in the Bank. We have, what else do we've got? We've got Ronda versus Raquel Rodriguez. We have, what else? We've got Seth Rollins talking ahead of his match against Finn Balor, of course, after the match at NXT he had and the attacks from Finn. We've got the Women's Money in the Bank Summit. That is happening with all of the Money in the Bank contenders having a conversation. It's just kind of, but that's sort of it. That's all we've had really announced, which is always very interesting to me. Given it is such a big week, but that means anything could technically happen. Obviously, we're in a situation where Vince has come back and, you know, changes tend to happen last minute, all that kind of stuff. So I'll be interested to see what happens. If you weren't like, I'll probably watch the Mario movie instead, but here we are. Feel free to go watch the Mario movie if you want, to be fair. I've heard it's quite good, to be fair. I haven't watched it myself. I expected it to be completely awful, and yet somehow it ended up being pretty alright, apparently. Show begins with starting with a recap of what's been going on Raw the last couple of weeks between Dom and Cody. It's interesting. What they're doing with Cody is very interesting to me, you know? They sort of had the moment where they could have pushed him. They could have made it happen. They could have made him the guy. They could have had him beat Roman and everyone would have backed it. And they didn't take it. And now he's sort of in this infinite holding pattern of waiting for a chance, I guess. I don't know, because what's going to happen, he's on the other brand from Roman, so it's not like he can really take on Roman. It feels like he can't face Seth because, you know, he'll take the title from Seth. It feels like he can't take another one of those losses, right? So he's interestingly found himself almost back in the exact same position he was in AEW, where he wasn't allowed to sort of flourish. He wasn't allowed to step up into the main event because he couldn't face for the title. He couldn't fight for the title. And instead of there being some sort of stipulation that means he can't fight for the title in WWE, he just can't really fight for the title because then he'd have to lose. And so now he's just floating around, facing Brock, facing Dom, all those kind of things. It's really interesting. But we're starting off with Dom. We're starting off with Dom and Rhea talking Cody, I would assume. I don't know if Rhea's going to talk about something else, but yeah. You've watched it 5 times. Fair play. How is it? Is it good? I've heard it's actually good. I'm surprised. I've heard it's surprisingly good. Dom with the classics starting to speak. Crowd not having it. Just realised I've left my water in the other room. I'll go grab that. I'll go grab that during the ad break. Dom tries to talk a couple of times, gets booed out of the building, so Rhea decides to take over. She's getting booed quite a lot as well. Not as much, but quite a lot as well. I enjoyed it. Oh, fair. Out of 10, what would you say? If you were giving it a rating, out of 10, out of 5, in the letter rating system, what would you say? Rhea says Cody's momentum has been slowing down of late, and Dom's gonna end it permanently. The music kicks in. Cody comes out. 10.4. Oh, that's pretty bad. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's not bad. BT's just gone down for me, which is not what you love to see, if we're being perfectly frank about it. We don't love to see just BT stopping. Let's just do that. We'll refresh start it again. Come on, BT, you can do it. Okay, we're back. Cody coming out with the cast. We're about to get the Wowo. There we go. What time to be alive? Again, not going to bring up the fact that I watched this 100% legally and yet somehow BT still can't nail it, but we know, we move. Sorry, TNT Sports. Well, I don't think that change has happened yet. I guess if you want Cody to be like a sort of ultimate babyface type guy, then you could do a lot worse by putting him in front of Dom, who'll get booed out of the building. So in that sense, I guess that makes sense. Still feels weird. Still feels like a weird holding pattern for him, but, you know, at the same time, you know. As Cody gets into the ring, Dom vacates. Rhea stays in. Sort of face to face with Cody right now, but Dom's on the apron, standing outside. Cody's in the house. Oh, is this his home state? Oh, Steve, how are you, sir? How are you? I hope you're well. If you haven't already subscribed to Steve, make sure to do it. SCW, what a lad. How are you? How's things? I saw you scheduled your Money in the Bank preview. Excited to watch it. I should also tell you, I have messaged Ray about trying to figure out the days he wants to do videos, and then I'll let you know so you can come on to Spanish, because I'm really looking forward to that. Maybe this week's the week, given, you know, Money in the Bank and everything. Cody welcomes everyone to Raw. Dominik very angry about this. I like Rhea's blind spot for Dom, you know? Because Dom being delusional about how good he is, you know, that's good, that's fun, I like that. But I quite like Rhea just backing his beef blindly, calling him a very dangerous man and stuff. He tries to talk, he gets booed out so loudly that he whispers it to Rhea to say instead. Yeah, I'm looking forward to you coming on, bro. I am. Hopefully I have a message from Ray tonight, so after this I should be able to get back to you. We have. Cody quoting Cat in the Hat at Dom. Says he's quoting a children's book because that's what you are, a scared child. Verging on suffering succotash situations, but thankfully turning it around in quite a smart way. Dom goes to leave. Cody just randomly announces that we're going to see Damian Priest versus Cody tonight, which is fun. He says for the first time ever, I wonder if they did face each other in ROH. Probably not, right? Cody tries to lure Dom in, saying he's going to give him a free shot. Oh, here comes back Dom. He gets onto the apron. No, he's going to leave. And then instantly leaves again. Yeah, there was no way he's having that fight. But it's still Cody versus Damian. That'd be good. Cody says it's going to be different on Saturday. Says he wants to know if you're half the man your father is, or if you're just mummy's little boy. To which Dom turns to Rhea off mic and just goes, "Yeah, I am mummy's little boy." She goes, "Yeah, you are." Fair play. I think Damian. I don't know if I'd say ready. He's obviously not ready for the very, very top, I don't think. I've said this before, I'll say it again, right? When I used to watch him in Ring of Honor, I just didn't ever... I don't know, it didn't click with me. I was like, yeah, he's okay, I guess, but it just wasn't happening. I just was like, it's not... I don't know, it just wasn't what I wanted, right? And yet, since he's come to WWE, he's just consistently got better and better and just built upon it. And I think Judgment Day is a really good place for him at the moment. Being surrounded by people who are over, people who are really good. And you can see a situation in which he would receive a push after the fact. I don't think it will be like... Do I think he'll win Money in the Bank? Probably not. I would prefer to... I think it's LA Knight's time. I think it has to be LA Knight's time at this point. Like, he's just too over, and these situations don't come around often enough. My concern being somewhat that, I guess, if you're in a situation where... How do I word this? If Vince is back in control, I don't know if I can see a situation in which LA Knight gets the win. I think LA Knight is possibly a winner. I think Shinsuke is possibly a winner who's making his entrance now. And I think potentially you could see a situation in which Logan Paul could win. I think LA Knight's the right call. I just think you have to capitalize when he's over like this. It doesn't necessarily mean he has to win the title, but just getting to be put into that realm, you just step him up a ladder. And then even if he loses in a well-fought contest against, say, someone like Seth, even if it was Roman as well, but let's say it was Seth, for example, in a really good match, and then you keep him sort of elevated at that level, I think that's a big win, even if he doesn't win the title, which feels like a diss. If you win the Money in the Bank briefcase and you don't win the title, it feels bad. But if you have a legit match instead, I don't know. From bits I've heard of that from the bits I heard of that promo, I wouldn't be surprised if it was Vince. But yeah, fair. That's very fair. We're going to see Shinsuke versus Ricochet, which is just kind of wild. Like, I know, like we did Forbidden Door yesterday, and obviously there was some madness on there. But imagine, 7 years ago. Probably 7 years ago, 6-7 years ago or something, before Ricochet joined WWE. Even before Nakamura joined WWE to some extent. Imagine just thinking Shinsuke Nakamura versus Ricochet. That's just mad, and we're just getting it on a Monday night. I don't say it probably won't be that long, but flipping heck, you want to give a match. If you want to give 2 matches on this card potentially time, it would be that, and it would be the Cody Damian Priest match. I am looking forward to Money in the Bank. I'm just looking forward to it being early. It'd just be quite nice to have something on early for once, you know? It's quite nice. BT wanted 14.95 for Money in the Bank. It feels like they don't know the network exists. Yeah, that's a bit mad. But I guess that's... I guess you to some extent, right? You might just get so few people taking you up on that offer because the network exists in the country still, that it's almost like, you know, whatever. just ask for whatever, and then if you get it, it's a cheeky bonus. But then again, we might not have the network for long, so we might be going back to those 14.49 Halcyon pay-per-view days, you know, premium at live event days, as it were. I don't know. We can only hope. But 14.95 is a bit mad considering you can just buy the network, which is what I'll be watching it on, and just hope for the best. And just hope that it lives. I hope the connection's fine, which to be fair usually is. I have very few problems with the network. To be fair. So let me pull up. I want to have a look to see if. So we now have Cody versus Damian. That seems like the main event, right? They usually set up the main event in the first bit. That seems like a main event to me. Trying to find what I wrote down. Everything else, there it is. Because Raquel Rodriguez versus Ronda is probably not main event. The Women's Money in the Bank Summit, you can't imagine being the main event. You'd imagine it ending in a match. You could do that, I guess, but. And then you have Seth. Those are the only things announced that I saw, unless WWE has anything else. So I'll probably be the main event. But Sheep's alright. That's a good main event. Let's go back to here. Here we go. Not looking forward to that, but you may be right. Yeah, I've kind of got a feeling that's going to happen. I really enjoyed Forbidden Door. I thought it was really, really good. I'm still trying to figure out, like, you'll appreciate this. I'm still trying to figure out the, like, pacing of the channel in terms of, like, what I'm going to put up and when. And so I'm just sort of, like, at the moment, I'm in the phase of just being like, I'll just do watch-alongs because I'm watching the shows anyway, and work isn't too bad for me at the moment, and obviously there's no football. So, you know, it's nice to just sort of do watch-alongs. And so I was thinking, I was on an iron, I wasn't very super well last week, so I didn't do too much. And then, as the day was leading up to it, I was like, I'm going to be watching it because it's going to give me Danielson versus Okada. It's going to give me Ospreay versus Omega. Like, I have to watch it. So I did the watch along. And it's just a really good show, isn't it? It's just really strong. I thought that basically, I didn't think there was a dud match on the cards. I thought all of them delivered. And I think the ones that really delivered, the 2 main events specifically, were really, really strong. We got good story stuff, seeing Jack Perry, Jungle Boy, turn heel, attacking Hook after the fact. We sort of knew it was coming, but it's good to see it happen now. And I liked him sort of living into it, breathing with the crowd, asking them to boo him and stuff. I don't know. I thought it was a really, really strong show. And I thought, as Josh said this yesterday, and I think Josh was right, it sort of set me up for being really excited for this week of wrestling as well, leading into Money in the Bank, just watching a show that good and being like, oh my God, we're eating good right now. Because it's one of the things, right? I think, like, you know, sit around on Twitter and I see lots of people having arguments over AEW and WWE and, you know, the CM Punk and the Elite and everything else, just seeing all these arguments. And actually, it's wild to think we get Forbidden Door and then we're going to get Money in the Bank the week after, and it's just all this good stuff happening at once. It's all very exciting. But yeah, we have it much, much better with the network compared to Peacock. If it goes on to something like Peacock, then, like, here, then sure. Like, I guess I'd be okay with that as long as we can continue to watch. Like, don't get me wrong, I prefer the network. I prefer having, like, everything just there as Ricochet starts to make his entrance, the Flippy Boy himself. Like, as much as it's not, like, I like having everything there, and, like, at the moment I'm watching through old Raws from 96 and old pay-per-views from 96, and it's nice just being able to go back and just start watching those. But realistically, like, the pay-per-views are the big thing, and if we can continue to get the pay-per-views on a well-priced level, let's say it went to a Peacock, I don't know what Peacock I don't know what Peacock is in this country, like, price-wise. But if we were to continue to get it at, like, a fairly good level, then I guess I'd be sort of okay with it. Ricochet's just coming in doing mad flips, because why not? But ultimately, the network is better, isn't it? Although I realise why they probably want to get rid of it. It's probably a lot of effort for them when they can just make a crap ton of money selling it. Just a crap ton of money selling it. Bell gets rung. Ricochet versus Shinsuke Nakamura in a preview match for Money in the Bank Saturday. Ricochet making the instant mistake of trying to start going blow for blow, striking with Shinsuke Nakamura. Seems like a bad shout. But it's a Sky and Now TV exclusive. I can't see them putting the network on there yet. Okay, interesting. Because I know it came across here, but I literally know nothing about it. I don't know how much money it was. I don't know how you'd have access to it. And I don't have Sky or Now TV, so... that would limit them, yeah. Although, realistically, in their sense, I suspect if they get paid enough money, I think they'd put it anywhere, to be fair. Shinsuke catches Ricochet going for a kick to the side, spins round back, elbow. Look for a big boot. Nice reversal from Ricochet. Catches Shinsuke in the head scissors, but Shinsuke again just kicks him down. Bronson Reed at ringside, wearing the outfit of a bodyguard in John Wick. Oh, Ricochet just hitting the old Booker T leg scissors. Even landed with the 5 hand. You love to see it. Nakamura reverses the fireman's carry into a sleeper. Yeah, me too. I'm big into the old retro stuff. It's the biggest selling point for me. I know, obviously, from a financial standpoint, the selling point is obviously, like you say, the premium live events, watching like Mania and things like that for a cheaper price. Oh, Shinsuke, love that. Shinsuke just hooking Ricochet in a sleeper hold amongst the ropes, like a right way up to Jerry. You'll love to see it. But the retro stuff is like the stuff that really sells me on it. Like NXT used to be, before they obviously moved that off to do... oh, both men with the big boot on the side apron go down. To which Bronson Reed just stands up and applauds. Obviously, NXT was before they took it off to put it on sort of BT and stuff. But now it is that retro stuff. Just being able to go back and watch all that stuff on demand is amazing. Shinsuke Nakamura and Ricochet now just fighting on the outside by the announce desk, just trading blows. Oh, Bronson Reed gets 2 boots for good measure. Shinsuke exchanged words with Reed. Ricochet gets caught in the kick. Ends up hitting an enziguri on Bronson Reed, and Shinsuke follows up with a big boot. Bronson looks very angry. He's going to get involved here. Oh, nice basement drop kick from Ricochet. Keeps Bronson Reed back. Oh, he gets another one by Shinsuke. This is turning into a 2-on-1. Reed's trying to make his way into the ring. And the referee sends Bronson Reed packing. Get out of here, lad. Not happy about it. We have it really good. Like, it's fun to have wars, and obviously we've all been raised on the Monday Night Wars. If not watching it, then hearing about it non-stop as being this big thing. As we go to an ad break with Bronson Reed getting sent to the back, we obviously like are predisposed to the idea of like the wrestling wars and it being a big deal, and you know, oh my god, we need to ratings matter and all these things, and they do. It's not to say they don't, but ultimately, as a fan, we can watch everything, and I know it's difficult because there is so much, but obviously, especially with it not both being on Monday nights and NXT not being on Wednesday nights, for example, now as well, we can just watch it all, and we're in an era where it's really easy to watch everything. So why not just enjoy it for what it is? Like, we've got like all of the big people that are around right now. You know, your Moxleys, your Seth Rollins, your on the other side, you've got your John Moxleys and people like that. Kenny Omega. But then you've got the people who we never thought would come back. Bryan, Edge, Christian, CM Punk. We've got all of these amazing things in wrestling right now. New Japan have started really kicking on again. They've started putting their best foot forward back again after a while of like sort of losing it during the pandemic. And then you like take it down all the way past the levels below that. We've got Ring of Honor back. We've got UK independent wrestling starting to get good again. Like we've got like Rev Pro are doing the biggest show in their history. We've got a show at Wembley. Why are we sitting here having these arguments? like I get it. We can have discussions on which is better and what's going well and what isn't and all that. That's fine. But why are we having these insane arguments about like, no, your thing's crap and my thing's great and we're stuff like, bruv, we eating good right now. We've got so much amazing stuff happening. I'm sat here on a Monday night, a random nondescript Monday, watching Ricochet versus Shinsuke Nakamura. 6-7 years ago, that would be a dream match. Like, what's going on here? Like, we can just enjoy life. Just enjoy life. In general. Life's not that stressful. I log onto Twitter, I see people talking about Declan Rice and Arsenal and all this other stuff. I'm like, bro, do you know, it's just calm, man. It's calm. Just enjoy your lives. Just enjoy your lives. That's my old man stance on it all. It's like anti-curmudgeon, you know? I'm like an old man, but who just has only positive vibes. I don't know what I'm going to go with anti-curmudgeon. There's probably a better way of wording that. I'm going with anti-curmudgeon. Getting a cheeky Mikel Antonio ad still sends me for a loop every single time I see it. It's just weird. See Mikel Antonio doing adverts. What a man. Hope he doesn't leave this summer. That'll be a stressful situation for us all. Well, for David Moyes specifically, it'd be a very, 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 very stressful situation. And we're coming back. Bronson Reed, of course, having just been ejected from ringside. We didn't see him enter. We don't see him leave. But Shinsuke and Ricochet in the middle of the ring. Shinsuke full mount, just laying down the law on Ricochet right now. Shinsuke in a really good position. Again, Shinsuke's in a really good position to win this. I don't think it will happen, but it'll be interesting to see because I think he's sort of receiving this renewed top guy energy at the moment. Nice big boot from Ricochet. Goes flying. Flying clothesline off the top springboard. Ricochet ducks the strikes. Starts working Nakamura again. Feels like a mistake. Goes strike blow for blow with Naka. Seems like a mistake. Nice springboard back elbow from Ricochet. Oh, standing shooting star. Beautiful stuff. Can Saturday come already? The money wants me to wait. London do be expensive. It do be expensive. That is one big thing that's very true. London do be very expensive. I can say that from life. It's expensive as well. Just have to eat lean for the rest of the week, you know. Just eat only pot noodles. Don't do that. Eat well. You know, vitamins, 5 a day, all that sort of good stuff. But, you know, maybe just eat pot noodles. Shinsuke back in control, just stomping down on Ricochet. Okay, you don't go blow for blow with Shinsuke. Looking for that release reverse German. Exploder backwards. Nakamura now loading it up. Oh, nice duck from Ricochet. Oh! Oh, Ricochet hits it. 2. Oof. 2 count. 2 count off the code breaker from Ricochet. Lovely stuff. Ricochet dragging Shinsuke now into the position as he rises up to the top rope. Shinsuke gets straight back up. Very fair, dude. Good. Thank you for coming. Appreciate it. Good to speak to you. And like I say, hopefully I'll message you later on once Ray's got back to me because I'm excited for it. But thank you for stopping by, bro. Massively appreciated. I love that step up from Ricochet reversal. Oh, ducks both for Shinsuke's kicks. Hit him with a high one. Ricochet looking for sliced bread. Hits it. That was a beautiful combination. Beautiful sequence. And now Ricochet's in a really good position. Again, he moves Shinsuke into position. Goes back up to the top. Facing backwards. Turns round. Shinsuke's moving a little bit. Ricochet. Oh, picture perfect shooting star press. 1, 2, 3. Oh, Ricochet with a huge win. That shooting star press was picture perfect. That was a beautiful Ricochet with a massive win. That's a huge, huge win from Ricochet there. Going up against Shinsuke. A really good finish to the match as well. Awesome sequence of kicks. Hits the sliced bread, drags him into position, and then just one of the most beautiful shooting star presses you're ever going to see. That is just so perfect. Oh, unreal. Really, really strong finish and a really big win for Ricochet. Like I say, Shinsuke feels like he's been creeping closer and closer back to that main event guy, that main event picture recently. Feels like he could be a legit contender to win Money in the Bank. And Ricochet, who, although maybe getting a little bit more respect under Triple H in terms of match time and positioning, but still in terms of positioning on the card, not being super high up, getting a huge win. A huge win. I used to, at a time, eat low-fat spicy noodles and add a quarter jar of jalapenos at least 3 times a week. Madness. Genuine madness to me. Genuine madness to me. I mean, I can't... I have a stomach issue, so my doctor says I shouldn't eat too much spicy stuff anyway. And then, like, the tablets I take, he's like, if you know you're going to eat spicy stuff, you could just have 2 and it should be fine. But I've never been, like, a super spice guy regardless. But, like, I know people who just add extra stuff. Like, I know someone who, like, for breakfast will legitimately have, like, toast and maybe, like, scrambled eggs and will just be lobbing hot sauce on it for breakfast. And I'm like, you lot, man, I can't be dealing with this. I can't be dealing with this. Backstage promo from Riddle from earlier today on the socials, confirming that he wants to challenge Gunther for the IC title at Money in the Bank. Which, again, we felt like was coming, but still. Byron starts by asking him if he thinks that's a good idea. Seamus, good to see you, sir. Hope you're well. And as Matt Riddle gets into his flow a little bit, Ludwig Kaiser comes behind him. How dare you? What makes you think you have what it takes to challenge for the IC title? Matt says, I used those amateur skills to beat you. Ludwig said that's never going to happen again. Matt starts beating up on him. But a big boot from the side from Gunther lays Riddle out and says challenge accepted. And slams big stomp down on the ankle of Riddle. Who, of course, suffering from last week's attack. But there we go. I mean, it made sense. It's what it seems it's been building up to. We do indeed get Riddle versus Gunther at Money in the Bank. with a sort of okay build for that one. All right, not a huge thing, but I think Gunther's in a rare position where as long as you just put the right person in front of Gunther right now and what he's doing with the IC title, I think you barely have to build those matches, right? If we're being honest, like, we go to ad break, but I feel like it's one of those things where obviously Gunther is like pulling out such good matches and such good work with everyone he's with. As long as you put the right person in front of him, I don't think you need to build it too much. And them just challenging each other and accepting it in a promo on socials earlier on today, and then just in a quick backstage promo there is a bit weird. It's Matt Riddle versus Gunther. That's a really big match with the right people in it. And although, you know, I have my opinions about Riddle as a person or whatever, I've seen those two go at it before on the independent circuit. I saw both of them in a match at Ali Pali at Progress and stuff like that. They're both really, really good wrestlers. You let them go, you're going to get another really strong match on the hands. A really, really strong match. So weird build doesn't really make too much of a difference because we know we're going to get a great match out of it, and we can just be excited because we know we're going to get Riddle versus Gunther. Even though, again, a bit odd. I can't with eggs, makes my stomach turn. See, eggs I'm fine with, but like if you were to get, say, like an egg sandwich from a Tesco or something, big no on them ones. Eggs in general, yes, but big no on that ones. What's your favourite Dorito flavour? It's a great question. The thing is, I'd eat all of them. What's the red spicier one called? Because that is actually really good. Because you have Cool, which is the blue ones. You have Original Cheese, which is the orange ones. You have the red spicier ones, which are called like Hot something, I think. What about... Is there any others I'm forgetting? Because off the top of my head, I would say ranking them... Original cheesy one, red hot ones, chili heatwave, thank you. They're really good, and then the cool, which is fine. Cool is fine. It's the lowest on the rung, but I would quite happily have a packet of Cool Doritos, no stress. But I'd probably say original cheese, chili heatwave, then Cool, probably. Is there any others I'm forgetting? Chili heatwave are great though. Again, as someone who doesn't like hot stuff, I do love a chili heatwave Dorito. Coming back from that break. Trying to think, I don't think there are any other. I can't think of a single other flavour of Dorito. We're getting a SmackDown promo. Roman talking about the build-up. We'll obviously get to see Roman. We'll see something with Roman and Solo and the Usos. In London, it will have to be, right? I only like chili heatwave, then Cool. Really? I mean, that's fair. That's fair. Controversial, but I think I can respect a strong Dorito stance. I'm not gonna. I don't think it's unfair. Maybe controversial. I don't think it's unfair. Certainly, It's like how, you might, like, I don't know if you watch Gonzo's videos on the forum channel, but Gonzo talks about Pringles not being crisps. He's wrong with that. Pringles are obviously crisps. That's just incorrect. Your take? I think that's fair. Dom goes up to Adam Pearce. Says he wants a match tonight to prove how strong he is, just like Cody. He says he has someone in mind. Someone who's big, someone who's strong, someone who's on my level, says Dom. When Adam asks who it is. Adam says that's fair. He says, who do you have in mind? Rhea whispers in the ear of Dom and says, we'll get back to you. I can only imagine it's going to be someone, unfortunately. It's going to be a job right there, and we're going to have to... We're still... We're getting a Money in the Bank promo. Running through the numbers side of Money in the Bank. You know, the classic promo we get, the classic video package we get before every match like this, before the Royal Rumble, where we get a lot of dramatic shots of people doing things, and then 5 people have won doing this, 6 people have won doing that. That kind of video package. KFC Walker's Max are my overall favourite in the last couple of years. Yeah, I do watch those, and I agree with you. I class them as a crisp. Yeah. Okay. They are crisp. I understand his stance, but they are categorically wrong. He is categorically wrong. He is categorically wrong on that one. Money on the Bank is apparently what I've typed there. There we go. Walker, yeah, Macs are really good. I used to love Mac. When I was younger, I was obsessed with Max crisps. What's a controversial crisp take in terms of flavour? Have you got any controversial takes in terms of flavour? For example, I think, weirdly, the most controversial one for me, probably that I just like ready salted. That's an interesting point about 13 people cashing in for their first World Championship match. That's actually kind of an interesting stat. The idea that using that to make someone, to put them in a main event scene, to put them in a title picture where they wouldn't have got it otherwise. That's kind of interesting. I mean, it makes sense, but it's just when you think about it. It's just kind of interesting. If there's been 30 Money in the Bank matches, almost half of them have been for people. Almost half of them have seen people win who have gone on to win their first ever World Championship. You think cheese and onion is the most ranked thing ever? See, I could. It depends what brand, but I could go for a cheese and onion. But yeah, I do like ready salted. I think people underestimate ready salted. I don't know. It depends what it is. Like, I'm thinking now. So I was getting distracted by Kane. I think now, when I think about it, ready salted my go-to big bag. Okay, yeah. I can back that. I like a cheap ready salted crisp. You know, you get like a multi-bag. That's like shop own brand. I'm good with that. I'm very happy with that. Like, I'm not going to say I'm not going to say it's like the greatest flavor that's ever lived, but I think people I just don't think people respect it enough. Seeing highlights of the Money in the Bank from the pandemic. I need to go back and watch that again at some point. Especially the women's one. I just watching Asuka run wild, and the men's one with a scene with, is it Daniel Bryan and AJ in the office with Vince? It was definitely AJ, and I think it was Daniel Bryan. Money in the Bank's great, isn't it? Money in the Bank's great, isn't it? Still don't know whether or not I feel like it should be its own pay-per-view or not. I feel like no is the answer, but I do love a Money in the Bank. Out comes Ronda Rousey, being accompanied by Shayna for her match against Raquel Rodriguez. Let's do Rousey. Let's do Rousey versus Rodri. Both will probably be accompanied by their respective tag partners. Shayna with Ronda. You imagine Liv would be with Raquel? As we go to an ad break. With one sits about. Yes, yes, yes. Now we've just got all that sorted. Now that's all done and dusted, which is nice. I'm going to go try and find my water that I put somewhere. I don't know where I put it, so I'll be back in a second. Hello. There we go. Found my water. I left it on the side like an idiot. Repping my Garfield shirt today, you know, in respect for the day of the week. My girlfriend would appreciate it. It's also Orange Cassidy Garfield shirt specifically. But you got to give it the respect it deserves. So yeah, we're obviously building up to the rematch between Liv and Raquel versus Baszler and Rousey, which is fine. It's fine, I guess, you know. I don't know. I constantly feel like the women's tag division's just like, I'm always just sort of like, oh, I guess I'll take that. Like, it doesn't ever feel like, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like there's anything massive happening with it right now. It feels kind of classic. It feels a lot like a classic. It feels a lot like a tag division where WWE would be with the men's belts, where they weren't really too fussed about the tag division. It kind of feels like where we're at with them at the moment. Like, it's a match. I'll take it. It's putting Shayna on a good place, so I'm happy with that. Raquel, I think it's tiding her over before she starts getting pushed properly big time. But, you know, it's kind of just nothing key. I don't know. Worst ever chocolate bar. That's another great shout. Do we count wagon wheels? I don't like wagon wheels. I've never been a wagon wheels guy. I remember the first time I tried a wagon wheel, I was really excited when I was a kid. I was like, oh my god, I'm going to eat a wagon wheel for the first time. I just didn't like it. Do you count a wagon wheel? If you count a wagon wheel, then I'm going to say wagon wheel. What about you? And if you don't count wagon wheel, let me know and I'll try and think of another. But wagon wheel is certainly the one I think about in my head. I'm also not keen on like, again, it's not really a chocolate bar, but whenever you get like anything that's Turkish delight, not here for that either. We're back. Ronda Rousey in the ring. We're getting a recap of the match last Friday. The match in which we saw them we saw Rousey and Shayna defeat Alba and Isla. Alba Fire and Isla Dawn with Rodriguez sat at ringside. I wouldn't count that personally. Okay. We can come up with another one. Bounty, I can understand both of those. I always feel like I should like a dairy milk fruit and nut, but it's never just the one for me. I don't know why. I do like a dairy milk whole nut. I will say that I do really like. And I don't mind a fruit in a chocolate situation, but I don't know why the fruit and nut combo just doesn't do it for me. Bounty I'm big into, but that's more, you know, passed down from my mum who's super into bounties as well. Talking on, if those don't count, I think those are fair shouts, and I can understand this. I can understand why someone wouldn't like a bounty. If that doesn't count, ooh, What's it called? Do you know what? I don't even remember what it's called. I'm gonna have to look it up. As Raquel comes to the ring, accompanied by Liv. Let's go Tesco's website. They'll have it in groceries. I mean, find it, and I can't even remember what it's called. I can see it in my head. I just in my mind palace went to a meal deal section, and I was looking across all the bars. What ones is it? Scrolling down through the Tesco multi-pack chocolate bar bit. I don't like picnics. I don't know if I say it's the worst, but picnics are definitely up there. Bell rings. Let's say picnic. Rowdy tries to lock up with Raquel. Gets pushed down. She ducks out of the way. She's going to have to move significantly faster again. Goes for the judo throw. Raquel blocks it. Ronda in the early stages here, struggling with the power moves, but she's got the guillotine in strong here. But again, Raquel looks like she's about to power her up. Lifts her up into the air for the suplex and slams her back down. Ronda having to use her speed here. She does there with the duck, and then, oh, look at that. Love that. Triangle armbar over the top of the rope. Whole nut's awesome. I love a whole nut bar. I'd very happily just eat a whole nuts all the time. I love a whole nut bar. Rousey's got her up, looking for the finish. Can't find it. Raquel just slams her down. Big shoulder charge. She was then looking for a power slam potentially. Stops the move before she gets hurt. Rousey rolls through, looking for the ankle lock. Does it really nicely. The roll through into the ankle lock was really good there. But Raquel manages to roll through and reverse it. Two clotheslines mixed again. Ronda catches her in the armbar, but Raquel just muscles her up and then suplexes her backwards. That was awesome. Raquel runs and squashes Ronda in the corner, lifts her up, looking for a fall-away slam. Ooh, Dairy Milk Oreo is very good. Oh, she was looking for that twisting, dropping elbow. Shayna manages to stop it, and Shayna gets attacked from Liv on the outside. Shayna interrupts to help Rousey avoid the move. But Rousey manages to roll through into the pin attempts. 1, 2, 3, and there it is soon enough. Ronda survives Raquel there. It felt like Raquel Rodriguez fully had Ronda's number there, and it wasn't until Shayna got involved and stopped it. Stopped her momentum. And then Liv Morgan getting distracted on the outside. Ronda with a beautiful roll-up gets the win. Saturday again. We'll get to see those go at it. Yeah, Dairy Milk Oreo is awesome. Dairy Milk Oreo is very good. Very good. I'm sure there's something I dislike more than a picnic. I've just never liked a picnic bar. We're getting a Finn Balor vignette. So do you want the guy from 7 years ago? That guy's dead. I'm much better. Wild to think it was that long ago. Finn lists off the injuries he got from that night and says, I could still beat you. Said, I still beat you. Finn saying our problems don't lie there is how when he had to relinquish the title, Seth came out and laughed at him at his lowest point. Boost's another bar I don't like. That's the one I was thinking of. Boost. He says the fact that they love the stupid outfits you wear and they sing your stupid song doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is getting his vengeance and winning that title. Good promo. Good video package. That Reggie, I know, it was so just what was it that what's his name used to call it? Ollie Davis used to call it the championship belt. Just no. Seth Rollins is making his way to the ring to be up next after the ad break. Yeah, I'm not into a double decker either. Double deckers is one of the ones where when you get the box of chocolate bars for Christmas around Christmas time, you get the selection box. I'll quite happily always give the double decker to someone else. I'll quite happily give the double decker to someone else. It's just not for me. It's just not for me. Just not for me. But I know, weirdly, I don't think I know anyone. My mum doesn't like double deckers, I know that, but I can't. I think everyone else I speak of or have spoken to about double deckers likes them, so I'm clearly on my own on that one. I think a little bit. I don't know why. I don't even know why I don't like it. It's just never been a thing for me. It's certainly not down there with the others I've mentioned, but it's not. Yeah, it's not, yeah. Phone's going off. Who's calling me at? A number I don't recognise. Okay, fair enough. I'm like, who's calling me at 2 a.m? Like, fair enough, but whatever. An alright show so far. Nothing unreal, but not too bad. Solid opening promo. That Finn promo was pretty good as well. We're going to see Seth come out, which makes me feel like we're not going to see Finn. It will just be Seth talking, I would assume, unless you're going to get Finn attack him again, which feels a bit mad given the fact we've just had Finn talk, but you know. Not been too much happening in it, but it's fine. Yeah, that's a great point. Dairy Milk Caramel is unreal. I don't know a single person who doesn't love a Dairy Milk Caramel. I don't know a single person who doesn't love a Dairy Milk Caramel. Dairy Milk Caramels are so good. So good. Again, you get the selection box. They're one of the ones I'm eating first. So no one else can get their grubby little mitts on them. Because I want it. They are beautiful. The Dairy Milk range in general, again, just like a normal Dairy Milk bar, kind of almost like a ready salted in a way, where I feel like some people just don't give it the respect it deserves. I think just a normal Dairy Milk bar is pretty good. You know, it's not bad. Again, I wouldn't say it's my go-to, but I'd quite happily have them. Whether it's the chunkier ones where you get them in the segments, whether it's the longer, thinner ones where you get like some sort of pattern or design on it, I'd quite happily have either of those, you know. Seems like a bargain for the big £3. Yeah. Strongly agree. Strongly agree. Strongly agree. Strongly agree. Strongly agree. When I get the big long bars, I tend to get the whole knot ones because my girlfriend loves the whole knot ones as well, so we share it. But like, if it was just for me, yeah. We are back from the ad break. I assume we're gonna go straight into Seth Rollins promo. I would assume. September. Payback. Is that after... When's SummerSlam? Is SummerSlam August or July? I think it's July, isn't it? I think it's July. Burn it down. Here comes Seth. For the sing-along section of the show. Wearing a fetching red tracksuit. Sequin tracksuit. A sort of very New Day style tracksuit, but with sequins all over it. August for SummerSlam. Does that mean Payback would be the one straight after then? I don't know the schedule, at the moment. It's just something that's just gone completely from my head. Okay, right. So you've got Money in the Bank, then you've got SummerSlam, then you've got Payback. That makes sense. Then Fastlane. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. That makes sense. My brain was just... could not remember any of that. The music stops, but the crowd don't. Carry on with the woes. The arena all pitch black apart from the spotlight on Seth as he stands there posing as the people sing a song. That is an insane outfit. You must spend so much money on outfits. One person in the crowd just cut through everything, shouted, "You're a clown." And Seth holds up the belt. As we get a graphic for Seth versus Finn. The people in the truck getting a little bit antsy there. Seth with the mic. We get a third welcome to Monday Night Raw. This time Monday Night Rollins, of course, but a third one of the evening. We just like to be welcomed. Seth welcomes Carmelo. Carmelo Haynes is in the front row for some reason. Says we've got a special guest and introduces him. We see a shot of him standing, nodding as he gets a sort of polite applause. And an NXT chant breaks out. Seth says, "You had my back on Tuesday, so thank you." To which Carmelo points at him and says, "I got you." Just a little cheeky promo for Gold Rush tomorrow night on NXT. It says whip up on Corbin. Seth then moves on to the topic of Finn. I'm looking at those sunglasses. They are wild. He said last week we asked the question which Finn Balor will turn up. He says Finn answered, jumped him a bunch of times. Trying to turn his ribs to dust. As he put a little bit of stank on the dust there. It was dust. He said, here's the thing, I'm still standing, so why don't you come out here and finish the job right now? Again, we've just seen Finn's promo, so I don't think that's what's going to happen. The silence gets filled by the crowd chanting Seth's song. Yeah, it's grown on me as well, that design. That world title belt design's grown on me as well. It looks really good on him. He says, you think it's your destiny to take everything from him that he took from him 7.5 years ago? He says, will he be 100% this Saturday at Money in the Bank? He says, no, he won't. He says it doesn't. He says it doesn't matter because when the bell rings, that version, whatever version of Finn Balor is not as good as this version of Seth freaking Rollins. Oh, in comes Finn with a chair, tries to attack him. As Seth gets close to the end of his promo, in comes Finn with a chair and Seth sees him. Both men fighting. Balor goes straight back to the chair to try and get it and takes a swing. Seth ducks underneath it and charges him into the corner. Or flipping out and then just tosses him out of the ring. Rollins again, now slammed into the announce table, the corner of it by Finn. And Seth lying on the floor, prone, as Finn just stomps into him, kicks him in those guts. The guts that he attacked consistently over the last couple of weeks. But as Finn goes to grab the chair from the announcers, Carmelo stops him, and Rollins comes flying into Finn. Rollins then chases Finn out into the arena with the chair. Rollins bleeding a little bit. And as Finn escapes through the crowd, Rollins recomposes himself in the timekeeper's area. Carmelo Hayes also there. Smart integration with NXT, to be fair. Like, it's a bit, like, I thought it might be a bit awkward just having him there, but, like, him being thanked by Rollins and then helping Rollins out again and stuff like that, it sort of just all makes sense. It just sort of all flow together. Fair play. Fair play. I'm shocked. We cut to a replay of last week from where Miz's open challenge was answered by Ciampa, the returning Ciampa. Interested to see where Ciampa goes from here. We cut to a backstage interview with him with Byron. Byron asking why. Ciampa reiterating the stuff about, I didn't hear from you the entire time I was rehabbing. I didn't hear from the Miz the entire time I was rehabbing. He says people warned him about the Miz, and it turns out they were right. And the injury made him realise it. So it gave him time to think, why is Ciampa wearing a neon green t-shirt and following around the Miz? There you go. We cut backstage to the Miz approaching the Gorilla areas. We're going to get Tommaso Ciampa versus the Miz again tonight. Main roster talent being on NXT has helped ratings massively. I can imagine. I don't tend to check ratings too often, but that makes sense. I have heard good things about the ratings of NXT. Some of them being really strong. And having that sort of intertwining of stuff helps for the NXT talent as well. It makes them seem like a bigger deal. It makes them seem better, and it means that when they get put onto the main roster, they're not just going to be left. They're not just going to be left to their own devices. They actually have that sort of knowledge of who they are. Because that was always my thing, is if you're not getting called up in specific areas and at specific times. Like Johnny Gargano was a good example. When Johnny came back, or when I think Candice had a similar thing as well. When they came back and were on the main roster, there was a sort of, the reaction was muted. It wasn't what you want. Especially at that time during WWE, which was like the beginning of Triple H's reign. As we go to an ad break, the beginning of Triple H's reign, where it was just person returning. There was like a lot of hype and excitement around it, and I think it had a similar effect to when AEW was just signing loads of the people WWE were releasing the year before. That sort of was just like her excitement of who's going to turn up next and everything. And you got Johnny, and it just was like it was a lot more muted than it should have been. And I think that he hasn't really kicked on from then. So having that integration with the main roster of where they are just sort of constantly promoting each other, and specifically having people come up and appearing on Raw, people like Braun, people like now Carmelo, it probably will help that next time when Carmelo comes out on Raw or on SmackDown, people are ready to know who he is. That's a really good thing. Rematch from last week? Well, yeah. Yeah. Like, I guess it makes sense. Not a shock. It means it's a more even 50-50 thing where they can have a match. But, like, it's like, all right. Okay. At least it's like, or at least it's a rematch from last week where it's a return of like Tommaso being pushed and sort of coming back and sort of like establishing himself on the main roster away from the Miz. At least that's the benefit of it, as opposed to just a random thing. But yeah, just a random rematch is yeah. Did we get I haven't sort of been looking around. Haven't been looking around the world of news today. If we got did we get anyone saying if there was big changes to tonight's show or not yet or not? Sort of scrolling through my timeline just to see if I see any people sort of mentioning that, you know, maybe Vince changed this week again and this, that, and the other, just to see if there was anything like that, because I'm not sure if there was. I didn't see anyone mentioning that. Sorry, I've just seen Satoshi Kojima's tweet. Talking about the CM Punk and the elbow drop that hit CM Punk in the nether regions. My elbow drop hit his cock. Sorry, but it is not on purpose. Accident, because I don't have that kind of technology. Shout out Satoshi. What a boy. Can't see anything. Can't see anything about Vince. So we can only yeah, can't see anything. Can't see anything. Wasn't a very brief scroll though throughout the stuff, but yeah. What a guy. Oh, to the verbiage of Vince's fingerprints all over Raw. I didn't see. I was just scrolling through, like, just having a little look down the timeline, seeing if I could see anything. I didn't see anything. Okay. Well, then all of a sudden, certain things make a lot of sense, don't they? Certain things make a lot of sense. So what are we getting? We're getting The Miz versus Ciampa up next. Oh! Out of nowhere, we're getting Carmelo Hayes versus Finn Balor. Out of nowhere, we're getting Finn Balor versus Carmelo Hayes on Raw. Alright. We'll take that. We take that. Might have to wade through certain things to get there, but we'll take that. Out first comes Tommaso Ciampa. On him flying from behind is The Miz, who attacks Ciampa from behind. Miz flying in behind, attacking Ciampa, throwing him into the barricades. Oof. Getting thrown into the LED board on the side of the ring. It was a massive thud. Now The Miz just all over Ciampa. Slamming his knee into the ring. Big boot running. And now suplexed into the barricade goes Ciampa again. The leg knee thing hitting him. The Miz sarcastically doing the Ciampa clap. Yeah, that's a cool match. Again, it makes sense. Like you say, it puts a little bit of eyes on NXT, and also, like, it's a cool match to have. Makes sense with the storyline as well. That integration of not just shoving it in randomly, like it making sense. Yes, good. I'm here for it. I'm here for that. Well, we did say we didn't want a rematch. I don't think we're going to get one. Skull-crushing finale on the outside by The Miz to Ciampa. The Miz saying to Ciampa, I gave you opportunity after opportunity. Calls him a joke as he gets up and leaves. And there we go. Yeah, we didn't get one in the end. I feel like Miz having a blood feud, very angry feud, is somewhat lessened by the fact he's wearing a t-shirt that says my balls are massive on it, but you know, it is what it is. We cut backstage. Imperium having a little conversation with Owens and Sami Zayn. Kevin's so good, man. Kevin and Sami are so good together. Kaiser saying he could teach Sami Zayn a lesson that he taught Owens. Owens is obviously very angry about this. Oh! 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 Sami challenging Gunther to a 1v1 match. Gunther says, be my guest. Wild. Just out of nowhere. Out of nowhere, getting a Sami versus Gunther match. Mondays, it's a weird day. It's a weird day. Out comes Dominik Mysterio for his match against someone. We'll see who he ends up facing, but out of nowhere, just completely and utterly out of nowhere, we're getting a Sami versus Gunther match. We take that. Yeah, they do need to physically unify the belts. The fact that they're doing it with everything apart from those is quite annoying at the moment. Oh, well, having said that, I guess Roman's still walking around with loads of belts as well, but the fact that they're doing all of the belts and they just seem to still exist, very frustrating. Very frustrating. As Dom and Rhea make their way to the ring, we go to ad break. Find out next who Dom will be facing. Second hour's been a little bit slower. First hour was pretty quick, pretty swift. Second hour's been dragging a little bit. It's been dragging a little bit, still. I wonder if we're going to... Given the other matches we're being given tonight, I can't see this being something that we're going to need to think about. You know? Don't think this is going to be a thing we need to think about. Has there been any talk of like new belts being designed for the tag titles? Because I was just thinking, like, design-wise, what they could do. Because obviously they redesigned some of the World Championships to have the new Seth / Rhea design. They have the other belts which got a sort of a subtle redesign. It is a redesign, but it's not a massive one like the other ones, but still an update, an upgrade. I wonder if has there been any rumors about them about them beginning the remake process for the tag titles? Because I'm intrigued what they could look like. I'm sort of just intrigued what they could look like. Don't know what I'd want them to look like. Look, is it? What's my favourite belt? My tag team belt design. Championship designs. Let's have a look. I'm trying to think what my favourite ones were. I'm back on the sportster.com, looking at their every WWE Tag Team Championship ranked belt design list. Ooh, the WWE Tag Team Championships. And the picture they've got is Los Guerreros, which is always going to help me, but there's apparently a set that's already been made with the removable side plates design, but those haven't materialised. Not sure. Has there? I sort of have vague memories of that existing, but it's wild that they haven't done it yet. It's wild that they haven't done it yet. If they've just existed, if they're just sitting there. Reminds me of when the reminds me of when was it the 6-man tags in AEW that had they apparently existed for ages, but just never, they weren't put out there for until All Out last year. But I think they existed for ages before then. There's no like tag team title designs from WWE that I love. I love the like they've put Los Guerreros on there, which is helping me specifically. Let's see if I can not break everything while I try and do this. What have we got? This one. Will this one work if I do this? I'm going to press a button now. See if it works. Oh, it works. Ish. It's a bit wonky, but it works. There we go. A little bit of improvement. But those ones specifically, it might be because I'm just seeing Los Guerreros holding them, but those ones I remember quite well. There was another one down. Which one was the one down? These ones I remember quite a lot as well. From it's the same era, that's probably why. But there's no real screamers, you know? There's none where I'm like, disgracefully high, by the way. There's no real, I don't know, there's no real, like, it's not like with the redesigns of with the World Heavyweight, for example, where it's like, here's something that makes sense, you know what I mean? There's nothing here that's too, I don't know, grabbable. Nothing there that's too reachable in a way. I don't know. The scratch logo WWF belts. Yeah, I can see that as well, yeah. I can see that as well. Yeah, that's fair. I like those as well. I think mine are the same. I just don't know which way around they are, you know? Will, good to see you. I hope you're well. I hope you're good. I'm UK as well. I am very London. Very, very London. Whereabouts in the UK are you based? It is Akira Tozawa. I almost said out loud when the build up to this was happening, I almost said out loud, I bet it's gonna be Akira Tozawa. And to be fair, look, I'll be honest with you. Any opportunity to see Akira Tozawa, I love Akira Tozawa. But it is Akira Tozawa. It is Akira Tozawa. But thank you for subscribing, Will, by the way. Appreciate it. And actually, you can probably predict exactly how this match is going to go, right? Like, they think it's going to be a squash. We're going to see probably Dom dominate. They kick off the match. Dom instantly gets on top. Akira will start to fight his way back, make his way into the match, potentially look like he's potentially going to get something from it, and then Rhea interrupts and Dom gets the win. I think it's probably fairly clear, right? It's probably fairly clear that that's going to happen. We'll see, but it feels that way anyway. Don't want to dox yourself near Scotland. That's very fair. That's very fair. That's very fair. But yeah, very much in the UK. It is almost 2:30 in the morning. So Tozawa off the ropes. Oh, nice Hurricane Rana on Dom. Oh, and then hits a lovely Shining Wizard. Tozawa climbing to the top rope. Oh, nice flying back elbow. Rhea is very panicky about this. She starts screaming Dom's name, runs across to the other side of the ring to try and help him. Akira's going to go flying, looking for a tope. Suicide dive. Flipping hell, it's terrifying suicide dive. Thankfully, everyone's fine, but that was a terrifying moment. Just goes flying into Dom. Flipping heck. Rhea there trying to distract Tozawa. And after a brief distraction, he tries to climb to the top and Dom retakes control. Oh no, so I have to check out your videos. Dom with the frog splash after the distraction. 1, 2, 3. There you go. It's exactly what we said. It's exactly what we said. It makes sense. Off the distraction, Tozawa gets knocked down off the top. Frog splash from Dom, and there you get 1, 2, 3. He gets the win ahead of Money in the Bank. Yeah, I'll have to check out your videos. But yeah, I love Tozawa. I remember seeing Tozawa back in the day on the independent circuit, and when he was first entering WWE in the Cruiserweight Championship picture and the Cruiserweight and 205 Live and the Cruiserweight Classic and all that sort of stuff, and he's really good. And I think he's sort of carved out a niche for himself in a sort of lower end jobber kind of guy who's super entertaining. And I just like whenever I get to see Tozawa because I think he's really fun. But he is like, outside of this scenario, he is a really, really good wrestler as well. Kira has been good, yeah. Shame that he hasn't used much. It's big shame. Big shame. We get a backstage promo from the Viking Raiders calling out the Alpha Academy. They say they're going to attack and it will be beautiful. I quite like just the random backstage promos. Oh, so the rock and roll. Out comes Trish. Wouldn't mind it being a bit longer, but I don't mind them doing that. I assume we're getting the women's Money in the Bank promo situation. I would assume. Out comes Trish with Zoey. But yeah, I quite like those backstage kind of promo things. I think about when they're used really strongly. We are getting the women's summit, as they're calling it. I think it's really strong when you look at... I like the backstage stuff where... Like, I'm thinking of, like, Miro, for example, with... I appreciate, like, Miro, for example, with AEW, right? His backstage promo stuff in those sort of vignettes that aren't him just talking with a microphone in the ring or talking to a person in an interview or whatever are so good and so strong. And I think WWE could and should do more of those. For example, I think the Viking Raiders are a good option for that. That was a bit short, but hey, I guess we got what we needed to out of it. The Finn Balor one earlier, I think, was really good. That kind of stuff, it could and should be used more often, in my opinion. Because you can get stuff across really strongly, and you can sort of... I love Finn Balor, for example, but I don't think he's the greatest. I don't think he's the greatest promo in the world when he's in the ring with the microphone. That promo was so good from him. I think that's the sort of stuff they could and should be doing more. Potentially, we are getting the women's summit. Let's call it Summit. Let's give it the respect it deserves and call it Summit like they are. The Women's Money in the Bank Summit. Rhea's great, got better and better hands. She has. I mean, it was just that catalyst, right? Sometimes you see things that just make someone and then they just zoom off into the distance. And that initial thing where she had the the sort of injury that happened with Tegan Nox in the Mae Young Classic, and she managed to get that heel run out of it, and then she just fired off into the distance, winning the Women's UK Championship and then the NXT Women's UK Championship, and then just going from there and just building and building and building and building. And she just keeps getting better. And she's a huge star now at this point. You think Rhea is one of the biggest women's stars they've got right now. You're looking at her, you're looking at Becky, you're looking at Bianca, you're looking at probably Trish. Is there someone I'm forgetting? Because I would think Rhea's probably a bigger deal than Bayley is at this point. Charlotte, obviously. She's certainly up there. Do you watch all wrestling? I try to watch as much as I can. I watch every WWE and AEW show. And then I try to watch as much of other stuff as I can. I watch Impact every now and then. I watch quite a lot of New Japan when I get the time. I watch most of their big shows, or at least the matches that are necessary. I try to watch as much as I can. I go to UK independent shows when I can, and watch them when I can. So yeah, try to watch as much as I can. But I watch every WWE and AEW show. And I've been doing watch-alongs for them recently on this very channel for all of the AEW and WWE stuff. I just hope Asuka doesn't lose. Yeah, me too. I love Asuka. Asuka's a huge deal as well. Asuka's a really big deal as well. That's a great point. Asuka's a really big deal. I think Asuka's one of those ones who, like, she's not in the sort of, like, she's probably not in the realm of, like, Charlotte, I guess, but she's so beloved. And she's also just so good. Who do I think's going to win the Money in the Bank matches, both of them? I think it'll be LA Knight. I'm becoming less confident of that. The more I say it, the less confident I'm getting with the LA Knight shout. Like, my gut says it should be LA Knight. We're back from ad break now. Is coming Becky Lynch. Like, the more I say LA Knight, and I think it should be LA Knight, the less I'm thinking it's going to be LA Knight. If it's not LA Knight, it will be either Logan Paul or Shinsuke. I'm going to stick with LA Knight. Because I think it's smart. And then for the women's, it's really difficult to tell for the women's one. You're saying Io Sky. Josh, who are your early bets as well? I'm going to say, I reckon it could be Trish. I'm going to say Trish. Who would I want it to be? I think I would want it to be LA Knight. And I'd want it to be... I don't know, the women's one's difficult. As they're making their way to the ring now for the summit, for the promo, as they all talk through it, you're looking at it like Zelina Vega probably doesn't have a chance, but she'll probably do some cool stuff in there. Becky Lynch is a big deal, right? So she could have the opportunity to do it. But obviously she's got problems with several people in the match, as she artfully said last week. You've then got Trish, who has the backup in Zoey Stark. You have Bayley and Io, who should back each other up, but look like they're going to have a little argument with each other's. I reckon it'll probably be Trish. And I'd probably want it to be Trish. Like, Trish in a final, like, championship thing would be cool. Zelina winning, yeah. I'd quite like Io to win as well, to be fair. Bayley interrupts. Talking how she's got the best chance, says Io might as well, after seeing Io giving her some daggers. Zelina says she's sick of Damage Control dismissing everyone else. She says Becky's done everything but win the Money in the Bank women's match. She calls Zoey a groupie, but then says calls Trish a legend. Zelina putting over putting over the LWA, putting over Santos as well. LA Knight and Io Sky my once. I think it could be Logan and Trish. Logan and Trish is a smart call. It's probably a strong call if we're being honest. I all of a sudden really think that Logan could be doing it. Could really do it. Do you do prediction shows or Money in the Bank? I can't wait to what time. I think, yeah, it's early, right? I tell you what, Josh will know. Because Josh is very fortunately making me very jealous about being there. But Josh will know what time it starts. I will be doing a prediction show though, yes. I don't know when, but I will be doing it at some point during this week, yeah. Trish starts her promo. She says she's not a little girl, she's a woman. She's the best woman to ever do this. She says, this is my first ladder match, my first Money in the Bank match, but winning is what I do. I will be doing a watch along for Money in the Bank, yeah. I'll definitely be doing that. There you go, 8 PM. I thought it was 8 PM. I wasn't 1,000% certain, but I thought it was. Thanks, Josh. I'll be doing a watch along for both of those. I'll be doing one for all AEW and WWE shows this week. After that, we'll see. But for all of their shows this week, I'll be doing it live. Trish references Becky. Becky chants filling the arena. She says, I can't call you a girl, I can't call you a woman because you're the man or whatever, but... Again, holding the mic with the Hall of Fame ring just there. It's good, man. It's good. Oh, it's all broken down. Shock. It's all broken down. Trish says, Becky, will you be man enough to say thank you when I win? And everyone starts fighting. Damage Control both taking on Zelina. Trish and Zoey Stark taking on Becky. Becky launches Trish on the outside and then Zoey Stark as well. Damage Control come across to the Force Horsewomen, Bayley and Becky going at it. It's Io Sky getting involved, stomping them down. And Zelina starts smacking people up with the flip-flop. Zelina throws Bayley into one of the ladders, kicks her out. Oh, Io Sky with a nice drop kick lets Zelina go flying. Io and Becky left inside the ring. Io takes out Becky. Io could go for one way or the other. She does Acai moonsault to everyone on the outside. There was a moment there where she could have gone for either of them and ends up going for the Acai, and Becky left in the ring by herself drags the ladder into the position for the Money in the Bank contracts. Climbs to the top. And just takes the Money in the Bank contract. No stress. She just straight up take it. She's just holding it up in the air. I like Logan, who sort of stood there and sort of held it, but it was still attached and was sort of like, oh, look at it. She just falls and takes it. Rally? Okay, nice to see you, Rally. That can mean Becky might not win. I would assume, right? I would assume that this probably means that exact same thing. I would agree. Backstage promo from Carmelo Hayes here. Obviously set to take on... I'll put Hayes, actually. Obviously due to take on Finn tonight. And Io looking strong in that exchange as well. Thank you, Riley. It's kind of you to say. Yeah, there's not too many. There's a couple there's obviously a couple of big ones in the UK, and then there's loads of there's obviously some big wrestling channels in the UK. You know, people like Cultaholic and What Culture and Wrestle Talk and people like that. There's a lot of big ones. They don't tend to do lives every single week though. You have like wrestling days and people like that who do wrestling every week. Carmelo with a strong backstage promo. Ends it with sometimes you got to take shots to make shots and I'm not going to miss. Could be a really good match. Could be a really good match. Out comes Gunther for his match with Sami Zayn that we're going to get randomly. Again, a lot of just random matches we're getting at the moment, but I'm not complaining about any of them. They are just random. Like, it's just sort of wild. Like, oh, here's Gunther versus Sami Zayn. Yeah, alright. Sure. Okay. We'll take that. Gunther obviously being accompanied by his boy, Kaiser there. Sammy will be accompanied by Kevin. We can see where this is probably building up to, right? But don't know when we'll probably get a tag team match with them, but still. As we go to an ad break before we get a second entrance, I'm going to run to the toilet. I shall be back in just a moment. See you in a sec. I'm pretty confident. Sound just wasn't there. Thank you. I don't know why it was muted. I don't even... who knows? Who knows? It shouldn't have been muted. But anyway. Yeah, I think Gunther is 100% going to be a champion. Thank you, Josh, by the way. I think Gunther is 100% going to be a champion. I think it's a matter of when rather than if. I think with Vince coming back and getting a bit more control in his hands again, maybe puts that plan on hold slightly. But even then, I think Vince would love a Gunther champion. So I think it's definitely going to happen. It's just a matter of when. It's just a matter of when. Or they're getting it on tape delay. It's just nice being... It's just nice being catered to for once as a UK wrestling fan, you know? Given how late it usually has to run and all these other things, the fact that we're going to get it at a reasonable time and we get it live and they don't, it's just quite nice. It's just quite nice. Back from the ad break. Get a little ad for Gold Rush. They've done a good job integrating NXT in the last couple of weeks. They've done a really good job. Main roster people going down and getting involved with the NXT roster, and then on top of that getting, you know, NXT people coming up. I think they've done a really good job of that stuff. I think they've done a really good job. I'd like it more often, but I know it won't. Yeah, I know. Listen, us getting 2 pay-per-views in the space of a year is mad already. Cut backstage to Becky. A little showdown with Rhea. Rhea says you better not cash that in on me, otherwise it'll be the last thing you do in WWE. Becky says when I held the title, it was the main event. When you hold the title, you're a main event side piece. Ooh, little hint. Little hint there. Becky versus Rhea at some point down the line. I'd be very happy with that. I'll take that. I was almost going to go Clash, but then I chose to go to LS instead. Yes, and we all make mistakes. We all make mistakes. I just sat and did a watch along instead. Did I do a Clash at the Castle one? No, I didn't. I was going to. It's on the back end. It's still on my YouTube back end in my in my things. I was going to and didn't end up doing it because I don't think I was feeling great. So I didn't end up doing it. And just Ray, who's my co-host on the West Ham podcast that I do on the Hammerstrap Patreon, he was there and he was just video calling me from the stadium. It's very frustrating. Very frustrating. Out comes Sammy and Kevin. Out comes Sammy, accompanied by Kevin Owens for his match against Gunther. The double belts attached both around his wrist. Oh, it was the Severe match, was it? Okay, then that's fair. Then you didn't make a wrong decision. That's fair. Getting a promo along the bottom of the screen there for the tag team title match that's happening on SmackDown. We'll be doing a watch along for that one, I think. Pretty Deadly versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Bell gets rung. Sidelock takeover from Gunther starts off the match. Interesting to see what kind of match we get here. Is it going to be a quick one? Is it going to be a deeper one? You can imagine it being slightly longer, right? Go across into the third hour of a really strong match. Go on. Be shocked if Pretty Deadly won. But I could see a situation in which it happened, a surprise change, like you say. I would be shocked because it's Kevin and Sammy's that they beat for it. But at the same time, I don't know, I'm trying to think. Are any of the Brits liable to win? Likely to win? I don't know. They're probably the most likely, aren't they? Out of all the Brits that are confirmed having matches. Nice arm drag from Sammy. Takes control of Gunther. Kevin. Chop in the corner. Duck from Sami Zayn. Nicely done. Sami and Gunther going back and forth at the moment. Neither man really taking control of the match. Oh. Out comes Giovanni. He's got crutches and out he comes. He distracts Sami. And Gunther gets the best. Oh, nice catch from Gunther and then just a big German suplex. Giovanni just shaking the hands of Ludwig as we go into an ad break. I wondered when he'd be coming back. Makes sense that he'll come back just in time for the pay-per-view. Realistically, he's probably going to be there's probably going to be some sort of involvement with that match with Riddle. Some sort of match. Do we reckon then? Do you think that Sami and KO are going to be at ringside for Matt Riddle at Money in the Bank? Will that be their involvement at Money in the Bank? Because right now they've not got anything planned. They've got. I mean, you could maybe set up a tag match with Giovanni and Ludwig. You could maybe set up a tag match for that, but it feels a bit rushed because obviously they're already having a tag match against Pretty Deadly the night before. So you could do that, I guess. But they sort of are setting up, getting them involved in that sort of scene to maybe put a situation involved where you do have them at ringside. Maybe that's what they're going to do at the show. Because obviously they're resting the night before, so I don't know. I'd be interested to see. What they do. I just hope that Drew comes back somehow with a big return on Saturday. I imagine it feels like something that could happen, right? Drew coming back, whether it's on Friday or whether it's on the show itself. I don't know where you could put Drew in. Maybe Gunther retains and then Drew comes out to challenge him. If you do it on the night, if you do it on Money in the Bank specifically, maybe that's the thing you could do. Maybe you have Gunther retain and then Drew comes out to challenge him and then you set up a Drew Gunther match coming down and sort of run that back. Maybe. I'm sort of looking at the... Let me see, I've got the Money in the Bank. Where is it? There we go. I've got the Money in the Bank card open so I can have a sort of look at it and have a think. Gunther, Matt Riddle. Bloodline versus Usos. Shayna and Ronda's match. Tag Team Championship. Seth and Finn, because he did get drafted, didn't he? Where did he get drafted to? Drew McIntyre. He did get drafted, didn't he? Raw. He did get signed to Raw as well, so that could be a thing. I'm trying to think what else could he do? Because I mean, he could like it could be a Seth thing as well, but that feels comes out to I don't know. No, I can't. I don't know. It's got too many people in that match already. Costing Butch maybe and then turning heel in the process. That's not a bad shout. That's a possibility, actually. Are they on SmackDown? I haven't seen them. They must be on SmackDown. Oh, huge chop from Gunther as we come back. That makes sense. I mean, they've not been too hard with the brand split in the... I mean, that has been in the lead up to Money in the Bank, so maybe that's why. But they've not been too hard and fast with the brand split. I mean, Carmelo Hayes is having a match on Raw. We had last week we had all the SmackDown lot running around. This week we've had the same with the women. So big European uppercut from Gunther to Sami. Nice reversal from Sami, looking for the exploder into the corner. Gunther blocks. Blocks a second time. Elbows coming down from Gunther. Oh, massive chop. I agree, Kevin. Just flinching up with a massive chop from Gunther just to the exposed Sami Zayn. Sami down, sat in the corner. Kevin begging him to just punch Gunther in the kneecap. He says that'll work. Another big chop again. Gunther chops live. Maybe one of the scarier things I've seen in my life. The louder things I've seen in my life in a wrestling show. Just hearing a Gunther chop is just like a shotgun blast. Gunther getting distracted by Kevin and Sami starts fighting back. Sami's fight back only goes so far. Gunther again with a huge chop to the chest. Gunther meeting Sami on the second turnbuckle. Climbing up. Looking for maybe a superplex. Sami blocking it, fighting back. I can imagine your wallet's not going to be too happy. Yeah, if they're selling Drew merch, then that's probably an indicator. Sami looking for the sunset flip powerbomb off the second ropes. Is beautiful. 1, 2. 2 count. 2 count. Beautiful sunset flip powerbomb off that second rope. The sit out straight into the pin. Although they should, I mean, regardless, they should probably be selling Drew merch. Regardless of whether he's there or not. Just because in the UK you'd probably get more merch sales, I guess. But Sami and Gunther now trading uppercuts and forearms in the middle of the ring. Couple of big lariats from Sami rocking Gunther. Oh, Sami over the top and then hits him with another, knocks Gunther down. I don't know who's going to win this match. Sami was looking for the blue thunder bomb. Reversed into the sleeper by Gunther. I can't figure out who I think's going to win this match at all. Like, it doesn't even begin to compute in my head. Gunther fighting back. Sami with a big blue thunderbomb. 1, 2. 2 count. I saw a custom London Money in the Bank briefcase. If they don't sell the Seth World title, then my eyes will be, yeah. They've got to be having those belts around. They've got to be having those belts around. Sami looking to capitalize, going high risk. Climbing up to the top now. Gunther in trouble. Big chop. Sends him down. 2 count. From a huge chop, but Gunther now looking to capitalize. He's going up to the top now. He's going high risk. Maybe looking for that splash off the top. Sami adjusting, but straight down comes Gunther with the splash. 1, 2. Oh, 2.8 from Sami. Kick out. Have a look. Have a look at the picture. And Owens is going after Kaiser, who's trying to distract. Gunther with a huge boot. Oh, that one. Yeah. Sami with a tope con hilo over the top. Comes flying at Gunther. Oh, that last one. The T-shot on the far right is quite good. The Money in the Bank one with the Union Jack and Big Ben. All that's quite good. Am I really going to go and have a look at the store? Is that a thing I'm going to do? Yeah, I'm probably going to do that at some point. I'm probably going to do that at some point. Exploder suplex from Sami, who's now gaining a bit of momentum. Distraction from Ludwig. And Giovanni's come in with the crutch and hit Sami. As Gunther powerbombs Sami. 1, 2, 3. The numbers game from Imperium once more. Once more counting for the win. Ludwig Kaiser getting the distraction. Giovanni Vinci hitting Sami with the crutch. And Gunther can hold up the title once more. See how Pac replaces when I get there? Yeah. Yeah. Kevin attacks from behind. In what can only be described as a very AEW segment, I suspect you're about to see Matt Riddle appear. There he is, bro. There we go. Matt Riddle comes out to save Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and on comes flipping it. Matt Riddle limping with pace. Hits a huge running knee on Giovanni. Grabs the crutch and starts just laying into all of Imperium with it. It's breaking off. It's going all over the shop. Ludwig Kaiser, stunner from Kevin Owens, and out he goes. Yeah, I might end up going. I might try go actually. If it's open on the days, it's open on Thursday. I could go early on Thursday. Like I could go during the day. I could go during the day and just... Or do you have to have a ticket for like... Are they doing like a fan event you have to have a ticket for? That's something I'm going to look into. So I might go on the Thursday. Like what, everyone's still at work. The beauty of having a... The beauty of working... being a freelance. We're getting another promo for Carmelo Hayes. We're getting another promo for Carmelo Hayes. Alright, fair enough. Yeah, I think it's just in the O2. I think it's just in the O2. It doesn't seem to be a thing. I might go have a look on Thursday. Forget the time. I might go and have a quick gander. We're getting another promo for Carmelo. You'll have to see it. He's getting a big push, isn't he? Ahead of his match, which I assume is about to come up. As I believe that's the unmistakable Finn Balor. Finn making his way to the ring. Big opportunity for Carmelo. Big opportunity for Carmelo. This remix of Finn's theme, it's alright. You know, we've spoken a bit about like the remix themes and all that. It's okay. It's okay. As we cut to ad break, brief promo for SmackDown. Do we see KSI arrive again in the Money in the Bank match? Do we see it? Do we see that, given it's in London? I've been in the Icon outlet place that the store might be in. It isn't the best bit to shop in, but I can get the job done. Fair, fair, fair. Is that the... They have like a... It sort of surrounds it, right? You go into the O2 itself, but before you go through the gates to get into the venue, there's like a ring of shops that's like around it sort of thing. Is it in there? Because if it is, I've walked through there before. My girlfriend went to something at the O2 once, and I went with her, but I wasn't going to the show, so we just hung out and just sort of went around, and there's like restaurants there and stuff like that. And we just sort of walked around and had a bit of a look. And then when she went into when she went in to watch the concert, I just came back. I just walked home. Well, I didn't walk home. I walked to Greenwich and then got a train back. But because if it is, then that sort of makes sense, right? Because it says Icon Outlet Shopping Centre at the O2, upper level. So I assume that's what that is. I assume Icon Outlet at the O2. I've googled it to figure out what the hell's going on here. Yeah, I think it is just that thing inside the shopping centre. Okay. Makes sense. I've walked around inside it before. Yeah, it is exactly what I think it is. Okay, yeah. I walked around it when they first sort of were building it, first sort of opening it. That makes sense. Just getting a pop-up shop in there. They're going to make a killing, aren't they? They're going to make an absolute killing that weekend. Yeah, it's to the left before the ticket entrance. That makes... Yeah. I know exactly... Yes, it is exactly where I think it is then, yeah. They are going to make an absolute... They're going to make so much money. So much money. Makes sense. Makes sense if you're around to do it. Why not do it? You know? You know? Makes perfect sense. I'll try and go there on Thursday. I should have time on Thursday before it shuts at 8, so... As long as I don't end up like going there, I mean, listen, maybe they'll announce a superstar thing that I want to go and see someone, but as long as I don't go there at the exact same time as like a big superstar's there and then the whole place is just absolutely packed out, then I'll be a bit screwed. But if I go during the day when no one's around, yeah, maybe. Maybe. The Adidas shopping is alright. If I had the money, I would have got so many shorts. Sure, it is definitely that type of weather. I have one pair of shorts, and they have been rinsed in the last couple of weeks for me just using them non-stop. Yeah, I don't think I went in any of the shops. I think I just walked about. Did we get food in there somewhere? We might have got food in there somewhere. I don't remember where, but we might have, I think. But yeah... No, I can't remember, but you didn't go into any of the shops, I think. I think, to be fair, by the time we got there, most places were shut in there, to be fair. I think we were getting there relatively close to when it started to shut, so I can't remember getting anything there. Just a little wander through a shopping centre, you know? Just seeing how the land lies. Backstage segment with the Alpha Academy. Replying to the Viking Raiders. Chad's great. Ooh. Chad asks Otis what the plan is. Otis replies, pure carnage. Did he food shop? I remember there being was cost, but am I wrong? Yeah, I think the food places are on the other side, as opposed to in the shopping icon outlet shopping center or whatever it's called. On the other side, if you go around the other way, and there's like, I'm sure there was like a TGI Fridays maybe, and a Five Guys maybe, that kind of stuff down that way, I think. But I don't think that's in the shopping center bit. I think that's on the other side. I think. I don't remember what there were, but there was something there. And then, like you say, I'm not sure there were many, if any, on the shopping center side. Yeah. We're also getting a promo from Natalya after her attack from Rhea Ripley last week. Natalya says she signed up for this life and Rhea's at the top of the mountain, but she says the biggest challenge isn't being out there, it's been in her head. She says she's been down, she's been broken, she's been shaken, but she's still here. She says she wants Rhea to turn up on Monday next week with the belt and face her woman to woman, because there's no one who's achieved what she has as a woman in this company. Fair play. My go-to for a while when I go there's Five Guys, but when we're going there for both weeks, I'm not making money. I've never had a Five Guys. There used to be a Five Guys. There used to be a Five Guys round the corner from my old workplace. When the last job I had, which was actually in an office before I went fully freelance and just doing everything from home. There was a Five Guys around the corner that my mate who works with me would go to, and I never bought anything from there because of the expensiveness of it. Out comes Carmelo. Good again. It's really good to see him on his stage. He is really good. I think his entrance needs a bit of work. That entrance wasn't the most exciting thing in the world, but so good, so good. Here we go. Carmelo Hayes versus Finn Balor. Bell goes. Carmelo goes for the lockup. Finn Balor goes low. Finn goes at him, stomping him out. Big chop from Finn. Finn Balor just getting a warning from the ref there. You know you're going to spend a bit, but you're getting... No, fair. That's very fair. Slim Chickens is like that. I'm big into Slim Chickens at the moment. Me and my girlfriend went on a holiday to Belfast a couple of weeks ago. And we had a thing called Slim Chickens there that I'd never seen before in my life. We'd never seen it. And we just ate it. And it was expensive, but it was so good. Maybe the best chicken and chips I've ever had. And then we went to one we were in Central the other week, and we went to one there. And it was still very good. It wasn't as good as the Belfast one, but it was still very good. And again, it's one of those situations where you're going to spend a lot, but it's good. Oh, Carmelo Hayes, really nice reversal there. Finn trying to defend the running corner point. Oh, it's good. It's good. The fadeaway from Carmelo Hayes. The slingshot. The slingshot reverse leg drop. And then he flies over the top and takes out Finn. And as we go back to the ad break, Carmelo celebrating in the middle of the ring. Looking good. Looking very good. Love that from Carmelo. But yeah, I don't mind, like you say, I don't mind spending a bit if you know you're going to get like good food, but at the same time, obviously can't be a thing you do on a frequent basis. It's obviously not something you can really run to every single time, can you? But I don't mind. I don't mind. The milkshake you can make there. Oreo with Reese's peanut butter. Oof, yes. 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 There's a place near here that does like you say, like milkshakes where you can sort of like put in what you kind of want. There's a chicken and chip shop around here that does a similar thing. I say chicken and chip shop. That puts it in a lower rung than maybe it deserves. It's a very, very good place to eat. But they have a similar situation where you can sort of make what you want. You can put Oreos in there. They have like Ferrero Rochers, that kind of stuff. Oh, it's so good. Like you say, it's expensive, but it's good. It's strong. It's very strong. I would be very about that life all of the time if I had the money. If I had the money, which I do not. I do not. But I'd be very heavily for that. I think last time I went to the O2, what did I have last time I went to the O2? Oh, I had a meal deal from like the Tesco. Is it a Tesco or is it a Sainsbury's? It's just like next door outside. I can't remember which one it is. But whichever one it is, it's either the Tesco or the Sainsbury's outside. There's like one right outside. I had a meal deal from there. That was the last thing I ate when I went to the O2. And that was for the Raw house show they did. Where they had Braun Strowman versus Goldust. Which dates it somewhat. Although Braun's back again, I guess. They had Sasha versus Charlotte Flair. They had Roman versus Chris Jericho, maybe? Seth had a match as well, maybe? Can't remember. But I had a meal deal. Can't go wrong with a meal deal, really, to be fair. You could put bacon in a milkshake. I did that once, not a vibe. I can't imagine it would be... Like, if I was ever given the option to put bacon in a milkshake, I would probably give it a shot. Just because... Two good things, but I can't imagine it would be good. I would do it because curiosity would 1000% get the better of me, but I can't imagine it being a... Like you say, I can't imagine it being a vibe. I can't. I'd give it a shot, but I can't imagine it being a vibe. Can't imagine it being a vibe. Back from the ad break. To another advert of Gold Rush again. Which fair play. Fair play. I think it was a Sainsbury's outside the O2, if I can remember from the last time I went, which was the KSI boxing last year. I think it's a Sainsbury's as well. I said Tesco, but instantly my brain said it's probably a Sainsbury's. Oh, was that the first Misfits event? Was that the one that was at the O2? Was it the first Misfits event that was the O2, I think? Might be wrong. Back, and Finn Balor is on Carmelo Hayes, just shoulder charging him in the corner. Chops coming in now. Irish whip into the corner, follows up with another chop. Irish whip again. Carmelo, though, this time taking advantage of Finn Balor, just continuing to do the same thing over and over. Looking for a crossbody, but can't quite make it. Finn ducks underneath it. Although I'm now doubting myself. I said Tesco, but in my head, my brain instantly went, that's a Sainsbury's, Charlie. So for some reason, I think it is a Sainsbury's. The 2 fights and 1 night gimmick. Yeah. Yeah, okay, fair. Pineda and Swarms. It's like I don't really watch. Like boxing is just one of those things I don't really watch. But the only way I pay attention to it is through like, oh, nice springboard clothesline from Carmelo, gets a 2 count. The only way I can pay attention to any boxing in general, and it's mostly just YouTube boxing, but any boxing in general, is like watching like Wade concept videos and stuff like that, and the breakdown. So although I've barely said any of it, I know a lot of it. Well, I know a lot of what's happened anyway. Having said that, I've forgotten almost everything that is in the main event. Big clothesline from Finn. Turns him inside out. Deji was fighting tonight as well. Yeah. Yeah, that was big. That was sold out that night as well, wasn't it? I think it was sold out that night. Finn just continuous stomping Carmelo as he's down. Big clothesline, just turns him inside out. Sling blade from Balor. Sling blade from Balor, laying in for the shotgun drop kick. Good reversal from Carmelo, who super kicks him. Oh, love that. Reverse springboard DDT from Carmelo. 2 count. That was beautiful. Carmelo looking for something off the top. Misses. Finn ducks. Underneath. Up into the fireman's carry position. Roll through from Carmelo Hayes. Small package. 2. Up once again. Fireman's carry from Finn. Drops him into that gut buster. And now Carmelo in the corner. Finn maybe looking for that shotgun drop kick again. Oh, and hits it flush. Carmelo's head flying backwards. I believe so. With the Pineda and the back of the head. Coup de grace from Finn. That's got to finish it, right? 1, 2, 3. There you go. Gets the win over Carmelo. In a cool showing with some flashy stuff that's bound to get people excited. Carmelo with a really cool showing, but Finn obviously getting the win. With the coup de grace, the thing we've seen him just bullying Seth with. Finishes off Carmelo. And then we got the Pineda return to the Undertaker music. What a moment that was. I tell you what, I don't watch any of it, but I watched that entrance a couple of times. That was awesome. Backstage interview. Cody's backstage with a dog. Proper babyface maneuvers from Cody. He has a merch, Georgia's own Cody as well. He's really putting it on him. He says he loves these backstage chats with Kathy, but he longs for the day where it's not going to be about any of the Judgment Day members. He says the cheap shots that Dom have been throwing have been getting under his skin. That's a skill. But he says but at Money in the Bank, he's not going to have Finn Balor. He's not going to have Rhea Ripley. He's not going to have Damian Priest. He says on Saturday he'll find out what he does have. Yeah, Pharaoh. It looked like Pharaoh, and I guess if they're in his home state, it would be easy to get the dog there. Whereas if they're doing it somewhere else, then it would be difficult. You can't exactly fly the dog. You can't exactly fly Pharaoh to the place. So I guess it probably was, but I don't know. Again, we're apparently getting a Bloodline segment next. I suspect it will just be a run back of what's been going on, though, because it wasn't advertised. So I suspect it will just be like, look at what happened recently, you know? We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Ad break. Again, I'm just gonna run and get a drink in the ad break, so I don't have to do anything during the main event. I should be back in a second. BRB. Thank you. It has to be a situation, right, in which the Usos win. So it'll be interesting to see how they play this out, you know? Because it feels like the Usos have to win. But that would mean Roman losing at a pay-per-view. That would mean Solo losing. But the Usos kind of have to win. So it'd be really... I don't know. I'm very... I mean, I can't figure out which way they're going to go with it. It has to be the Usos win. Probably. Maybe. I guess. I mean, it'd be hype for you because you actually get to see it. But... because they've built Solo up a lot as well. They really have put him... they really have put Solo over as like this killer guy. You think Roman and Cody might win? I mean, they've shown... when you look at, say, Roman versus Cody, right? It felt set up for Cody, and yet Roman won. So it wouldn't shock me if Roman won, but like... I don't know, I just can't think about it. I don't know, I'm very intrigued. I'm very, very intrigued. Because you imagine it has to be the main event as well. Like, you could have one of the Money in the Bank's main event, I guess, but you imagine it has to be the main event as well. And then again, yeah, you're right, actually, because now I'm thinking about it a bit more. Like, now I'm thinking about it a bit more as well. You had... Drew not beat Roman at Clash at the Castle, which felt like the obvious answer, the obvious thing to do. And yet that didn't happen either. And that was in London as well. So that would have been it's in Cardiff, but it was in the UK. So that would have been a happy go-home thing. Maybe we're going to get Tyson Fury to do another little sing-along. That'd be great. He said, lying to himself. Out comes Cody. In my soul, I am Cody Rhodes, you know, coming down to do a big old fight. Here I come, in my coat, red, white and blue, guess where I'm from? Oh my god, it is the USA. Whoa. I'm Cody Rhodes, I'm here to wrestle. I'm gonna do a grab. Sorry, I'll stop now. Yeah, sing Cody's song is gonna be amazing, to be fair. It's one of the... it's something I've tried to explain to people before who aren't into wrestling. I'm like, you don't understand. Like, wrestling is like 50% entrances. Like, the entrance, the music, the hype, the singing, that's almost as important as the rest of it. You know? That's why the Royal Rumble's so great. It's just an hour of entrances. You know? It's very important. And when you get a good one like Cody's, it makes it. It makes the whole situation. You know? What? Perfect clip section of potential. Yeah. Just me singing Cody. Yeah. Shorts, yeah. I love it on TikTok. I do have a TikTok now, so I can love it on TikTok. I put the shorts on this channel. I also put on the TikTok. It did quite well on there, to be fair. I don't even remember what it was. I just remember it happening, but... the thing is, the temptation is now to just make it a whole song, which I'm not going to do, but the temptation is there. The temptation is very much there. This is what I spend my days doing. If you ever think to yourself, you wonder what Charlie's up to right now, It's probably just singing stupid songs to myself. Probably just singing stupid songs to myself. Back to the ads. Before the main event. It's been an okay Raw. I think the first hour was pretty good. First hour did alright. Flew by quite quickly. It didn't feel too long. It was like we were trucking, we were rocking and rolling. Second hour slowed down quite a bit. Third hour's been a bit better, but still, yeah. Third hour's been pretty good. You know, if you include the Gunther match, and you had the Carmelo match, had something to it. It's been an alright Raw. It's been an okay Raw. Certainly not been the worst. Certainly not been the best. The major stuff is delivered. You've got a big push for Carmelo, and yeah. I forget when I'm live that I just say, it's like when I do the watch-alongs of the football. I say the watch-alongs, and my brain defaults to football. But when I do those, and sometimes I just say things and do things, and then I forget that people can see. I just say some of the stupidest stuff I shouldn't say, and just sort of, you know, like the eating cheese and oranges and pizza for luck and stuff like that, and they just get out of control quickly. Or certain phrases that I say non-stop and people go, oh, Charlie's saying that phrase again. And I'm like, you know? I just forget. My girlfriend said when I did the watch along for the Europa Conference League final, she watched the end of it, and then I did the live review after. She was in the other room. She was watching it on the computer. She said I kept saying the words ladies and gentlemen, for example. I just forget. So many dumb things I do in my life. Just very dumb. Anyway. Little advert for Money in the Bank now. Boom, boom, boom. Back from the ad break. Cody in the ring, awaiting Damian Priest for this main event. Again, did they? Cody Rhodes cage match. Now, I'll tell you what the easiest way to do it would be. Damian Priest. Let's look at Damian Priest's first. Oh, bro, please. Damian Priest cage match. I want to see if they ever did fight in what's the word I'm looking for? In Ring of Honor, because I don't think they did, but they were both around at the time. Also, just realised I spelled Damien wrong. Match. Type in Cody, see if it pops up. Oh, they did, yeah. Bound by Honor. Night 1 of Ring of Honor, Bound by Honor 2018. Cody Rhodes defeat Punishment Martinez, 7-minute match. Outside of that, that's the only time they had a one-on-one together. They've been in a tag match together. That was last week, obviously. They were in the Royal Rumble together. They were there was a Ring of Honor show in 2017 in which they tagged together in a big multi-man tag. It was them two, Josh Woods, Scorpio Sky, and Chris Sabin versus Dalton Castle, Hanson, John Gresham, Marty Scott, Silas Strong. As in Ivar. Flipping hell. What a time that was to be alive. Now you mentioned pizza, I'm hungry again, but to be fair, I have been since 11 p.m. Yeah, I've got to make something after this because I haven't eaten properly today. Bell rings. Damian Priest, Cody Rhodes. Here we go. I don't know what I'm going to have, though. After last night, I just waited and got 2 frozen pizza subs and just made those instead. So I don't know where the adventure is going to take me tonight. Irish whip into the shoulder block from Priest, knocks Cody down. That sounds like a Madison match. I know, it just... The fact it was only one of War Machine and not the other one as well. Don't know what was going on there. I would have thought... I didn't think Cody would have been in Ring of Honor early enough to maybe cross paths with War Machine, but apparently they did. I guess he was independent for a lot longer than I'm thinking of, to be fair. He was independent for a lot longer than I'm thinking of, because he obviously had the years in AEW as well. Hops over to Damian. Looking for the hip toss, both of them. Both block it. Now looking for the... Both of them looking for a backslide. Cody flips over it. Midsection, drops down, punch from the lying back position. Big back elbow from Priest. And then a big drop kick from Cody. Don't know how I feel about Priest's gear here. Don't know how I feel about Priest's gear here at all. I think the trousers I wouldn't have a problem with the belt. It's just the thing on top of it, the vest on top of it. I don't know how I feel about that at all. Damian Priest gaining control of the match, though. Irish whip to the corner. Cody goes flying into it. Big splash. Takes Cody down as Damian fully regains control of this match at this point. Or gains control, I should say. Or Cody with a nice reversal, though. Looked like it was going to be a Priest superplex or suplex. Cody lifts him up instead. And he's just got him balanced up in the air. Face first. Goes Damian Priest, although out comes Rhea Ripley and Dominik Mysterio to interfere. Though so far, not necessarily interfering, just Cody getting distracted by them making their way down the ramp. There was no actual interference. Cody being dragged into the corner, lying on his back. Priest dragging him around the post, goes flying into it for good measure himself. And off goes Cody, off the ropes. Suicide dive. Takes out Damian as he goes to try and capitalize. Dom's just there. And the second Cody steps up to him, of course, Dom goes behind Rhea. Cody deciding instead to go into the ring. Ooh. Nice flatliner from Damian Priest. As we go to an ad break. I mean, Cody's going to win this match after overcoming the odds in some fashion. We know this. It's just how. I'm trying to think, when did Cody leave? Because he must have been independent for way longer than I'm thinking. Oh, he left in 2016. Yeah, he was then. Yeah, he must have crossed paths with War Machine. So if I type in handsome, he flipping cross paths with War Machine in New Japan as well. Didn't even think about that. Oh, he beat Ivar, formerly Hansen, to win the NEW heavyweight title. I didn't even know Hansen was the NEW champion at one point. I mean, I only pay attention to NEW in terms of like stuff that they're doing, like all of the big names that they currently are, booking. But did not know that at all. Who was on their last show? There'll be someone. Okay, their last show that actually has a card on cage match. Lucha Mania. El Vikingo versus Commodore. Flipping out, really? Commander, sorry. Wild. Matt Taven. Yeah, they love booking a big name, does NEW. Yeah, he cross-passed a lot with War Machine, but specifically in New Japan. On a few G1 cards as well. Wild. 2017 was such an insane time for wrestling. I need to quickly check when the Elite Edition of AEW game is out. Buzzing for that. Yeah. Is there an early release on that? That's a point. That's something else I need to look into. Is there an early release for that? Because that would be cool. Still haven't pre-ordered it, but I'm still sort of thinking about it. Longingly thinking about it. Because my brain is like telling me to hold fire and just wait to see on the reviews. But I really want it. But my brain is telling me to hold fire. Day early access, 2 p.m. on Wednesday. Regular edition is Thursday. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, I don't know. Damian Priest, the punch as we come back from the ad break. Big Cody chants from the crowds as he hulks up his way out of this Damian Priest assault. Oh, big flapjack. Priest regains control. Gains a bit of space and a big clothesline takes out Cody, turns him inside out. Priest climbing up to the top. Oh, bless me. Flipping X. Sorry. I tried to click the mute button and missed. As Cody comes back into this. Where the hell did that sneeze come from? Cody just flying up to the top and then just hits a sort of arm drag almost off the top. Again, big chance for Cody from the crowds. As Damian Priest and Cody are going toe-to-toe right now. Blow for blow. Cody loading him up. Loading up the punches. Power slam from Cody. Disaster kick. Damian Priest is wobbling. Now he's loading up the punches once more. Hits the roll. Bionic elbow. For a 2. Cody was looking for the figure 4, pushed off by Priest. Oh, drives his head in with the headlock. Headlock driver from Priest, only gets 2. Dom, you suck chants coming from the crowd. Reversal from Rhodes into the crossroads. Priest fights it out with his long arms and his long legs. Oh, and Cody loads up the double underhook. Pedigree. And Damian Priest just slowly rolls out of the ring. Ring awareness from Priest. Cody climbing up to the top turnbuckle. Jumps over Priest, who goes to attack him. Oh, big boot from Priest. 1, 2. 2 count. Big shot by Priest. Oh, super kick from Rhodes. And here come the Judgment Day to interrupt. Rhea distracting one side. Cody Rhodes going for the disaster kick. Dom manages to stop him. Choke slam from Damian Priest. Oh, big south of heaven from Priest. Kick out at 2. Judgment Day fuming. South of Heaven, such a cool looking film. I love that move. Priest gets Cody up. He's looking for Razor's Edge. Cody reverses. Off goes Dom. Cody cutter hits. And Priest is rocked. Rhea is distracted with Dom on the outside. Looking for Crossroads. In position. Connects. That's got to be it. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Cody does get the win. Cody ducking under the clothesline from Damian forces him into Dom, who goes flying onto the outside. Rhea goes to protect Dom, and the Cody cutter followed by the Crossroads is enough to put Damian Priest away. Rhodes getting a win on the roads to Money in the Bank. There we go. And Dominik attacks him from behind and then runs away. Big from Dom. Attacks him from behind and then literally runs straight out of the ring. Perfect from Dom there. And Dom, you suck chants fill the arena as we're going off the air. That is Monday Night Raw. And up and down episodes. Middle third was a bit of a struggle. Middle third was what it was. First hour was pretty good. Second was better. Third hour was better. But yeah, thank you, Josh. That's very kind. I will be back. I'll be back on Wednesday for Dynamite, and then we'll go from there in a big week of wrestling. A big week of wrestling. A very exciting week of wrestling. If you haven't already, subscribe, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Enjoy yourselves. Speak to you later. Bye.